Today, I would like to talk about Star Trek The Romulan Way. This is a novel by Diane, Duane, and Peter Norwood, and this is novel number 35 in a series about the original Star Trek universe. Now, I had actually never seen an episode of any Star Trek series up until about September or October of 2016, so I'm relatively new to the Star Trek universe, but I've really immersed myself in it in that time period, and almost everything that I've watched on Netflix since that time has been one or the other of the Star Trek series. And no, before anybody asks, I have not watched Star Trek Discovery at all, and I have no opinion on it at this juncture due to the fact that I haven't watched any of it. Now, I chose this novel in particular to talk about because I was really blown away by it. I didn't really expect that. Now, the other novels I've read about 5 or 6 of them, have all been solid. They've all been quality. The writing has been good. The characters have been good. The stories have been exciting. And it has explored a lot of the issues that we think of as being appropriate for Star Trek, namely morality, philosophy, involved political dramas. But this book really goes above and beyond those by a long shot. Now, this novel is divided into basically 2 types of narration. One type is from several years in the past, where we have a Federation sociologist writing about Romulan history and culture and really trying to explain the Romulan mindset to her superiors. And the other parts of the narration occur in the present, where the same sociologist is now a deep cover Federation agent who's posing as the head of the domestic staff of a Romulan noble. Now, despite the fact that McCoy appears on the cover here and does appear in the novel, he is but a minor player in this story. The story really focuses on the sociologist turned spy named Therese Labrodo. We see almost everything in the story from her perspective. And she makes for a great protagonist because she's psychologically complex, she's deeply intelligent, and she is someone who really has a compelling internal struggle. So I won't spoil any more of the plot than that. I'll just talk about how awesome this book is and how you should read it immediately. What this is at its core, aside from the, sort of A-track story about the agent herself, is really a brilliant exploration of Romulan history, philosophy, and the way that the Romulans came to be separated from their Vulcan cousins. So this goes back into Vulcan history pretty deeply to when the Romulans left Vulcan and went off on their own. What this really does is world build on a level that is pretty hard to match. By the end of this book, I felt like I had a lot of insight into the way that the Romulans think and the way that they act. What motivates them, how their society works, how their internal politics work. A lot of things I never got from any of the series of Star Trek that I have completed at this juncture, which are, the original series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Enterprise. Right now I'm in Voyager, and there's only been one episode that's even mentioned the Romulans. Based on the context of Voyager, I doubt that they'll make an appearance again. Anyway, I actually prefer the way that this book dealt with the Romulans. Some of the things that Duane and Norwood decided have actually been made antiquated by the developments of episodes in The Next Generation and DS9, where they changed some of the details of how Romulan government works. However, maybe I guess that could be explained if you wanted to match up the canon by there being a change in the 100 or so years that took place between this novel and the time of Picard and Sisko. What else? There was something else I wanted to say that is escaping me at the moment. Oh yes, this book is technically a sequel. Diane Duane wrote another book called My Enemy, My Ally, but I actually didn't find that book until yesterday at a used bookstore, and I only realized that it was supposed to be a setup for this book when I looked up this book on Memory Alpha. But I'm going to assume that because Kirk was the main star of My Enemy, My Ally, that that book actually wasn't all that vital to this one. Except it might explain why McCoy was chosen as the person to go visit the deep cover Federation spy. At any rate, that is all for now. In the future, I might end up making more of these Star Trek novel videos. We'll see. But I probably will only do it for the novels which I find to be compelling and interesting. So at any rate, I'm Thersites the Historian, and I hope that at least some of my audience members are fellow Trekkies. Live long and prosper.